So who's ready to do the first episode of a brand new show, which means it will be the single worst reaction possibly available for the series on the channel, because I'm very bad at first episodes of shows. Also, I know it's sad going in, so that bodes poorly for me. Anyway, hey, hi-ho, and howdy, everyone. My name is Shannon L. Shook. That's right. It was that way last time you were here. Unless you weren't here before, in which case, welcome. Name was still the same. It would... I mean, that still applies even if you're new, but, you know, I won't judge you for not knowing. I mean, I will, but I'll judge you in my head and not out loud. Unless I think it's really funny to do so. Anyway, hey, folks, ladies, gentlemen, those too beautiful for such titles, we're here. It's time. You voted on the thing, because I knew you would. I didn't even have to put it in the goddamn poll. We talked about this constantly in the Discord. Like, if I put Frieren on the poll, it's going to win. Probably by a significant margin. Which is to say double the second place in votes. Which is what happened. No shit. Anyway, yeah, so we're here to watch Frieren Beyond the Journey is the name, I think? I don't know. Subtitles, man. We'll probably complain about those later. Yeah, so we are here to watch Frieren, the whatever the subtitle is. It's time. I'm very excited. I have heard, obviously, many great things about this. Big shocker. It's been the talk of the town for a hot minute now. But yeah, no, I'm very excited. I'm trying to think about what to say, really, before going into this. Thankfully, I haven't been too terribly spoiled going in. Like, again, I do know going into the first episode, it's probably quite sad. That has been unavoidable to see. And honestly, it's good that I know, because it's why I have put Frieren off to basically its own thing at the end of all of the other stuff I was recording, because otherwise, I wouldn't be able to record anything else. Because if you know anything about me, you know that I'm a great big heckin' bitch baby who cries a lot, hard, and fast. And it's not as sexy as I made it sound. But yeah, so I know that going in. I know there's like 28 episodes. I am aware going in of, I think, like 2 memes. Two silly, jokey, ha ha ha, oh my goodness. What a silly little elf bean moments in the show. It's probably the ones you maybe think that they are because they were everywhere on the internet. I am aware of the names and character designs of certain characters. And I am aware of the voice. Yes, so I should probably mention this going in. For anyone who's not familiar with me, I am quite a fan of both dub and sub. That's right, I'm a dirty heathen who appreciates both. I'm also a voice actor myself, so it'd be weird if I had hated English voice actors. I realize it's not that weird because my entire life is filled with a certain amount of self-hatred, but, you know, it's something to, like, want to avoid, generally speaking. But yeah, so I'm a huge fan of that. Obviously, you know, done voice work before in the past. I have a lot of hearty appreciation for it. If you watch the episode of fucking Zombieland Saga I just fucking recorded before this, you'll know I can never shut the fuck up about voices. To a borderline infuriating extent, I'm sure. But I don't know. I just like it. Leave me alone. It's a fucking, you know, medium and art form that I really appreciate. So, you know, when we talk about doing stuff on the channel, we try and do a hearty balance of both sub and dub, because we can appreciate the OG and we can appreciate dinguses like me. And so we try to have a decent balance. Like, for example, watching Zombieland Saga again in dub, watching Kill la Kill in dub. We're actually watching a lot of dubs at the moment. So ignore everything I'm saying. I'm lying to you. But, you know, we're watching Magi Revos in sub. I'm in Love with the Villainess, which also just started along with this. I'm watching that in sub. And I think that's it, actually, now that I think about it. I'm a damn liar. But we try and do kind of a hearty balance where we can. And because of that, when we were picking between these two shows that won our poll, again, both I'm in Love with the Villainess and Frieren, there was kind of a debate of I wanted to figure out what I was going to do with the sub and dub of it all, because both have both. And I decided basically, because again, one of the few things that I did know about Frieren before looking into it even too much at all for considering it on the channel, was that there was a pretty significant notable difference between the sub and dub on with regards to the show. Very specifically with regards to one character, and maybe one character alone, to be honest with you. And I didn't really know, like, I talked to Jeff back when the show first came out, and he was kind of talking about, watching sub and dub of it all. And I was like, oh, yeah, what's it like? And he's like, yeah, no, I tried watching this. I watched the sub, but then I tried watching the dub, and I couldn't really get into it personally. And I'm like, I'm sure it's just because it's the one I watched first. And I'm like, yeah, no, it's like that sometimes. It's usually the way it is for me a lot of the time, which one you watch first. Sometimes that changes. Like, Suka was a great example of that, where you're like, oh, I actually really like the dub for this, even though I watched the sub more. Yeah, generally speaking, it tends to be that sort of thing. So that was very much how I approached it at first, until I randomly stumbled across a random clip from Frieren. It wasn't particularly spoilery or interesting. It was just a silly little bit of dialogue or something that I heard like 5 seconds of, and heard the voice and went, oh, that's what he means. Oh, that's fucking notable. That is very different. I've heard the other. Oh, I see what he means. I could see why that would be slightly a dramatic change. But I also heard it and went, oh, that's really interesting. I actually really like that. So that was one huge reason for why. Another huge reason, as I just know the dub in general has gotten a ton of love with regards to the show. It's gotten just a lot of appreciation as a really solid one, which is always great. There's some all-time classics up there. And if this one can get even close to that, I would say that is always a good thing to see. And I also saw a bunch of people being weird, freakish, horrible, obnoxious goblins on the internet about it. And that was the defining reason why I decided to watch the dub, because fuck those people specifically. You might say, why would you do this? Because you enjoy it? Nah, out of pure spite. Anyway, because I am a vengeful, vindictive prick. So anyway, that was honestly the biggest reason I wanted to watch the dub, was mostly to tell those guys to fuck off. So if you're one of those guys, eat my dick. Anyway, that's too good for you. You can't have my business. Stay away from my under situation, you silly hoe. No, but yeah. So we're watching the dub for anyone who didn't catch on to what I was talking about there. And I am excited. Again, heard great things throughout. But again, the big thing I'm aware of is Frieren's voice specifically is dramatically different from the sub, and I think it's really, really interesting and kind of cool that they went that way. I'm not super familiar with the main VA for Frieren's work. I know she also does fucking like High Elf Archer, the other elf one from Goblin Slayer, but I haven't seen that show, and I probably won't, no matter how much I think that character is pretty, because it seems upsetting and gross. But I respect that, getting to work anyway, pretty character. But yeah, so I think that's the only thing I have the smallest bit of reference for, and I have no reference for that. So I'm excited. Again, don't have too much else to say going in spoiler-wise. Couple memes, the mimic, whatever was happening with this shit. And I think that's genuinely like it. And again, first episode being sad. I think I might have a slight idea of maybe why it's sad, but fucking not enough to actually even bother commenting on. Anything else? For anyone else new, if you haven't caught on yet from just me in general, I tend to have very, very long intros because I like to talk. I like having this good moment to talk between us, to perhaps reevaluate what happened in the previous episode, but mostly just to say random shit that I find funny. And that's just me who finds it funny. But I don't give a shit because I'm the one making the video. Like, you're not doing it. Why do I give a fuck if you think it's funny? Come on now. Yeah. So I tend to have really long intros. So I also try to always put timestamps so you can skip my bullshit. But then, if I make some sort of hilarious callback and you don't understand it, you know why. It's on you. I'm not taking the fucking bullet for this one. The arrow, perhaps, because it's fantasy. We don't watch enough sci-fi on this channel. Anyway, point is, there's not enough sci-fi in general. Fix this. What are you doing? Come on now. That's the better of the two anyway. That's right. I said it. Deal with it, nerds. Yeah, so, I tend to have really long intros. When it comes to my reaction style in general, number one, we do timer reactions, so you shall need to acquire your own copy. Perhaps on the Crunchyroll, perhaps a DVD copy of your own you've placed into a DVD player. Do they have those anymore? Probably not. Oh god, Blu-ray, that's a thing. Still, right? Stop killing physical media, you bastards. Anyway, point is, wherever the fuck, you know, I was trying to leave a link to a place to get it legally and cool. Yeah, so grab your copy, you can sync up with mine. It's great. The one issue with it is, with dubs specifically, Crunchyroll has a real tendency to be fucking terrible with regards to its subtitles, because it just doesn't put them in its dub content for some reason. Because, I don't know, I guess deaf people don't exist. It's an accessibility issue, guys. I understand. It's difficult work to make subtitles, but also, you did it for the fucking Japanese version already. Just copy and paste them. I don't care if it doesn't match. Do it anyway. Jesus Christ. Point is, I would rather have subtitles that are slightly off than not have them at all. So that's a little bit of annoyance. You should still be able to see a little bit. Who knows, maybe they're different. I saw, like, the tiniest bit of a subtitle pop up, like, the first, like, millisecond of the episode that started playing. But I assume that's just the intro. Unless they're getting better. They're definitely not. Because Ruby was not that fucking long ago, and you didn't do that. And that's just an English show. You had no excuse. You only had to do one version, goddammit. Point is, scandalry. But yeah, so we're going to go ahead and jump into this. That's a little bit of a thing. Do I have anything else I need to pre-warn anyone about? The fact that I'm profoundly unfunny. I don't think so. I think we can pretty much just jump into it. Also, I tend to be fairly I say this every time. I have 3 general states of being. I'm either, like, fairly talkative, haha, hee hee, ho ho, talking about random bullshit, making allusions to other things, probably outright spoiling others because I'm a fucking idiot. You know, just the kind of guy I am. Just the worst person you've ever met. I sit in stunned silence like this because some terrible shit's happening on screen, or I'm bawling my eyes out and dying. Please do not look at any of the sad shows we've watched in the past. I hate looking ugly on camera, and I already have to do that 24/7 anyway. It's really bad when I am bawling my eyes out. I hate it. So stop that. Once again, another reason why this is the last thing I've been recording. But yeah, no, I'm excited. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. Again, heard many good things. I think it's still, like, literally #1 on the fucking rating thing altogether, which is a fucking achievement. Because, and I say this with no due respect whatsoever, because you don't deserve much. Because 9 times out of 10, if someone's being an obnoxious asshole in my comments, it's one of you. But fucking Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood fans are the fucking worst. They're the most obnoxious motherfuckers on the planet, and they'll never stop. Like, you're allowed to like something, but just don't be a prick about it. Also, the fucking thing ended. Now I have to stare at the elf bean. Which I consider a win. Yeah. Yeah, it's just, that is an achievement, overcoming those ghouls. So I respect Also, you're allowed to like that show. Just don't be a dick about it. So props to Frieren for holding its own so long. I don't know if it'll last forever, but, you know, shout outs to that. Because that is an achievement. But yeah, heard a lot of good things there. Aware of many reactors who I may or may not know. Some friends of mine, which is being so generous, because, like, some of them I've talked to once, and then others, like, I mean, like, there's maybe one or two of them that I, like, literally got them started on their journey in reacting, and I like to think of myself as kind of like the papa of it all. Mr. Reaction, that's my boy. That's my son right there. I raised that boy. Go give him love. Anyway. But, yeah, fucking... Boys, heard a lot of good things. Again, this part of why I know it's sad going in. Very recently, Arnold just started the fucking show, and has been talking about how fucking sad the first episode was. I'm like, God damn it. I need to prepare. But, anyway, we're gonna go ahead and do it. I'm gonna shut the fuck up now. Still somehow not 20 minutes in. It's okay. It's the first episode. I'm allowed to be obnoxious. It's gonna get worse as we go later on. But it's okay. We're gonna have fun together. You're gonna love my obnoxiousness. Also, it's one of the reasons that's so weird about first episodes is I have to re-talk to all the new people. That has to be so awful for the people who actually have been here the whole time and know exactly how I work. And like, yeah, we get it, dude. And I'm like, I know, but not everybody does. I have like 3 people who watch me, and you're so nice. You shouldn't do this. You shouldn't do this to yourself. But now I have to warn everyone else, you know? Just because you're a fucking self-hating YouTube watcher doesn't mean everyone else needs to go through this pain. Anyway, ladies, gents, those two beautiful, we're gonna go here. It is the first episode, as previously stated, of Frieren Beyond the Journey? The Journey Beyond Journey's End. I don't fucking remember what it is. It's one of those. I guess I do I think I get the general idea of the show, which is I know why it has that title. Kind of, I think. I looked at it like right when it first came out. I was like, what is this about? Oh, I guess that's kind of a cool idea. I think I understand the general idea behind it, but it's also 28 episodes long. Who knows where it goes from there? Yeah. I think we're just going to go ahead and do it. Also, I put off Delicious and Dungeon for this, so this better be fucking peak. You can't be, you better have given me the good shit. Because I have a terrible fascination for that blonde elf dingus in that show, and I haven't gotten to see her yet, but the internet has flooded me with nothing but art that I love of her. So, you got big shoes to fill here, Frieren. I'm telling you what, you silly white-haired dingus. And what the fuck? Let's do this. We're gonna go ahead and get started. Leave me alone. We're gonna do it here. Episode 1 of Frieren, whatever the subtitle is, in 3, 2, 1, go. See, this has... I bet you they take them away from me as soon as the intro's on. Also, I have no idea what the intro to this is like. Oh, we're gonna learn, though. I'm liking it already. Also, I know I was slandering fantasy earlier, which again is funny considering how much of them I'm either currently watching or have been watching. But I also need to make it abundantly clear. Elves are one of the greatest things ever created by mankind. Just making that clear. Genuinely. The stuff dreams are made out of. Oh my god, I actually didn't talk much about the two casts either. I do need to make it clear. The one massive thing in particular that was leaning towards the sub, which I turned down, was Kane Ichinose. So, that's also, yes, fucking, they're getting around recently, man. They're putting in all the fucking work. Speaking of Kane Ichinose, she's one of my all-time favorite JP VAs. Arguably, like, maybe my favorite. I love that fucking woman ever since Ichigo. And I know she's Fern in this. So I put that off for you. So know that. The northernmost end of the continent I ran a place roll the land where souls rest. Okay. Many souls gather here, and I spoke with friends that once fought alongside me. Flam, the legendary mage. Also, I'm gonna fuck names up. I'm bad with names. But I know Fern is voiced by Jill Harris in this, which is hilarious because because fucking Kan Ichinose keeps being voiced by, or keeps voicing characters who in English are constantly voiced by Jill Harris, and it's so funny that they keep having the same roles. I do like her voice though. I think this is gonna go well. Yeah, no, that's... But yeah, my basic understanding was, the basic premise is, A, you know, after they do the big, like, classic go fight a demon king shit, the shit that happens after that, which is a really clever idea for a show. I think that's some kind of shit I would write, and I love that. I like people who have similar ideas to me, because it makes me feel vindicated. Uh-oh. Oh my goodness. Damn. Just drag this man, why don't you? Is that who I think it is? Always a good way to start things. It's totally who that is, isn't it? I think it's sweet. It's adorable. Yeah, that's the thing about, like, Big Head Quest. Those silly little moments are what makes the fucking thing. Oh, jeez. That was a commitment. Oh my goodness. Suisei. Damn. I was gonna say, excellent timing, y'all. Excuse me. Also, I like the tone of things so far. I do know some people have slight concerns with it being kind of slow paced and kind of like chill vibey at points, but I don't know if you've ever listened to me before, but I actually love that shit. So I mostly prefer like slice of life stuff and fucking stuff anyway. So also, I never mentioned I don't give a shit about fights, so that's gonna be completely lost on me. Because I know there's some of those, but which is funny because RWBY's my favorite show, but you know what I mean. It's not why I watch it. Goddamn disparate lifespans and shit. That's how they get you. I like the music too. Show's really fucking pretty too. Again, it's just got a really good vibe to it. Well, I mean, she might disagree in a moment like that, but you know. Pretty. It does seem a little just spookified, you know what I'm saying? Giving off just a bit of a funk. I was gonna say, did we jump up to the 50 years later? So you can put that motherfucker in the laundry? You can wash his goose? Spookified cabinets, sir. To him, it's a bunch of memories, you know? Oh. It is interesting, too, with my small understanding of the show. Interesting that we starting quite where we are. I mean, he's got all manner of hair. See. Oh, there we go. Okay. I was like, what's the status of our other two compatriots? Look, it looks like for padding. Say, how's the dwarf aging of it all? Right, I wonder how old Frieren is at this point, anyway. Good lord. Fucking said down, dog. Got the newspaper, shit. That's a aggressive newspaper. I didn't consider it to be made out of lasers. Oh, it's kind of fucking me up and nothing's even happened yet. Jesus Christ. All right, shut the fuck up. Yeah, again, like the time scale would just be so fucking fucked up in your head. Because again, to him, like that 10 years would mean the entire fucking world. Whereas for someone like her, it'd be like knowing someone for like a month or two. I really like the dynamic between them all. Also, yeah, big talks about death, that's really good for me. Again, people haven't seen any of my other content. Your boy has some fucking issues. Watch on Ohana if you want to see my fucking entire mental state just unravel over the course of a fucking show. Ugh. Yeah, man. Kind of one of those just what happens after happily ever after sort of discussions, you know? As people fucking go their separate ways. And again, especially when you have a fucking situation like that, you just fucking... I was gonna say, that wasn't the fucking end of the episode already, right? Jesus Christ, I've been here for like 7 seconds. Jeez. Oh my god, little potato. Little bean. This is adorable. Again, one day... Again, I might have that issue because of just, which one you watch first. But, I will at least have to take a look at Fern in the sub, again, just because Kana's fucking an absolute queen. But Jill's also pretty great. She's such a little goddamn potato. Aw. You look good, man. That's fucking rude. Squat up with the little bean. I mean, definitely don't do that shit. We do not approve of dead babies. Jesus. This seems a bit extreme. I mean, that might explain my understanding of the rest of the show. again, I really love the just kind of like the vibe and pacing of things. I really like their dynamic too. It's really fucking kind of sweet. She has lovely eyes. Tiny little prodigy. Oh, sweet Jesus. It's a damn range issue. Gotta put a fucking long barrel on that shit. Call of Duty rules. Someone who hasn't played Call of Duty in fucking a decade. You didn't. It's not already over. What are you doing? How dare you? I was so into this. Remember seconds ago I just said it was too fast? You rude motherfuckers. That literally felt like 5 minutes. It clearly is not. I'm looking at the time on the fucking thing. It clearly isn't. And yet that felt... Again, for being something that feels slow, that fucking didn't feel slow. That didn't fuck me up as much as I thought it was. But I definitely understand why it got some other people. Again, it was kind of getting me a bit with Himmel there earlier. Just... Again, I don't want to lean into it too terribly much, because I've talked about this before, the more and more I talk and think about it, the more it genuinely fucks me up. I have a very significant fear of death, and time and shit like that. This is why I don't like talking about it. Sorry, not fun. Okay, so this is just preview stuff. Thankfully, it's just no. You cease your transgressions. It's just that kind of an intro. It's not actually showing me visuals or too much. It's not too bad. But fuck me, man. Like, yeah, no. Again, as someone, and I think the best example of it is Anohana for sure. I do not do well with those thoughts at all. It's funny because, again, when I was younger, as I suspect many people did, could not have given less of a fuck about the concept of death. It just didn't scare me at all. However, as time goes on further and further, much like Heiter, I believe is we established his name. Heiter, Himmel, Frieren. Was it Eisen? I think was the dwarf guy. And obviously Fern. Like even like he was saying, like, you know, whether it was how much of it was him putting on airs is one thing, but also just the general passage of time can kind of, it can either significantly scare the shit out of you in that front, or maybe, again, for some people, it can make it a lot easier. And in theory, given enough time, it would do both. But problem with humans is sometimes you don't have quite enough time to get both, you know? Or if you're like me, it's in fucking reverse, like some bullshit. But yeah, I don't know. It's just it is something that fucks with me a lot. So definitely, yeah, I don't want to talk about this anymore. It's just, again, yeah, I always point as Anohana is the best example for kind of explaining why. But Jesus Christ, should fucks with me a lot. But yeah, fucking first episode in, I'm really liking the vibe of this. Again, I do know there will be things like fights later on and shit like that, which just, again, is not my thing. So anyone who's looking forward to that, just know, when we get to something like this, it's gonna be me doing, or at most like, ooh. That's about my thing. Again, it's always funny to me because, again, RWBY's my favorite show, and that show is widely beloved for its fights, but it's not why I like it, you know. Please give me volume 10, by the way. And the rest of the show period, fucking random fucking person in the universe with $1 billion. I enjoyed it. I really like the vibe of it all. It has a very unique and a really kind of meaningful and impactful way, and I like the feeling of it. I like what little of the dynamic we've gotten of the characters so far. Obviously wish it was more, considering everyone's state at the moment. But also, again, as we have established, my understanding of the show is, I feel like that Himmel character, I've seen him, a lot more of him than this, you know. So based on the situation with Homeboy giving her the book about resurrection and immortality, I'm starting to get a distinct impression. I see where this is going, at least to a certain extent. So I'm curious to see exactly how that will play out, and what that will mean for our friends and stuff. But again, just as much as the concept scares me a bit, the dynamic, this sort of dynamic with kind of the disparity of like lifespans and stuff is very interesting to me. I mean, the Cienjo arc of Star Rail might be my least favorite, but I do think that's a very interesting discussion to be had. I'm a Mass Effect fan. I'm very familiar of the concept of complicated lifespans between people who fall in love and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Your Asaris, your Solarians, I get it. But if I'm not some sort of fool who would fall in love with either of those when fucking Tali exists, you fucking cretins. The only thing more scandalous would be falling in love with one of them human characters. What is wrong with you? Who could do such a thing? How dare you? Anyway. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it so far, and I'm very much looking forward to it. I want to see where we go from here. Again, I know we have a little bit of a long ride ahead of us. Definitely one of the longer ones we've done on the channel. With, again, I believe it's 28 episodes. I actually thought it was like 22 or 24. It is 28. I just looked. Wild, crazy. I'm curious how it'll end as well, because I definitely seen people who want a season 2 of it, but also it's one of those things where, like, I get wanting a season 2, but sometimes season 2 doesn't make sense to actually do. Sometimes it totally does. I've been there. Fucking finally getting more spice in Wolf, and gotta redo the whole goddamn thing to get there. But I do really want to watch that, but I don't. The problem is I've already seen the original show and read the books, so like, I have a problem with reacting to things that I understand more than normal. You know, it's a problem. It's difficult for me. It was like trying to react to the Persona anime. It just you know, fucks with my brain. But I do really want to watch it. They just need to give me fucking J. Michael Tatum and Brina Palencia again, which they have yet to do. So do that, and I'll watch the damn thing. And I might have to react to it. Actually, I did want to take a quick look before we dive too much farther into this. I wanted to take a look for sure of the cast, because I do not remember the name of the VA for Frieren. I just know, again, a tiny bit of their work. I want to make certain about Eisen or whatever. Mallory Rodak, Jill Harris, Jordan Cruz, Clifford Chapin, Jason Douglas. Oh, that is who that is. That's totally who voices Hyder. Jason Douglas. Yeah, obviously. I like this old man significantly more than the other old man. What a douche. Also, it's Christopher Guerrero. What's the other thing I know you from? I saw your name pop up recently, and I don't remember what it was. Oh, okay. Fucking Soletta's dad. Also, with regards to the Jill Harris, Kane Chinose of it all, I adore G-Witch so much. You should watch that if you haven't. Fuck Gundam, I don't give a shit. That show is incredible, though, because the characters are wonderful. You should go watch that. While, again, I do prefer Kana, generally speaking, as Soletta in that show, just on the whole. There's a couple moments in that show, like one of the most emotional big fuck-off why would you moments in that goddamn show. Jill goes apeshit, and there's no reason why she should go as hard in comparison to Khan. It's crazy. It's crazy how that goes. Like, there's not a ton where I do lean towards kind of mostly in that show for that, but that scene, the betrayal of it all, that girl's fucking mind unravels on screen, and it's fucked up. Show's so good though. Also, fuck Bandai Namco. Cowards. Okay, the dude from fucking Overlord. There's something... I saw you show up in something recently. What the fuck was it? What am I thinking of? Tell me, Internet. What am I thinking of that he was in? I'm having to scroll too far back. I swear it was something recently, not fucking 2016 or some shit like that. I must have missed it at the time. That or I'm out of my mind. Or it was some completely random one-off background character. But why would I recognize the name all the same? You know what I'm saying? Anyway, the point is, it wasn't who I was thinking it was. But, good all the same. What am I thinking of? Tell me, Internet. I went all the way to the bottom. What is it? Chris, who are you? Why? What is it? This doesn't make any sense. 'Cause it's not Nadim. I tell you what, that's not why. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. No, I think I've figured it out. I think I figured it out. Let me double check. I think I know why. I know why I recognize this motherfucker. Yeah, you silly bitch. Fucking, yeah. It's, fucking... Oh my god. It's Mr. Fuck the Pope. That's who it is. Christopher. That's why I recognize him. And that's also why he's not on here. Right? Am I crazy? Fucking... fuck. Am I wrong? Am I losing my mind? I'm so locked into this, but this sounds right. I have to know. You're coming with me through this fucking journey until I know for certain. Yeah, Enrico Maxwell. Okay, that is who it is. I knew. And now that I know that, I can hear it too. Yeah. What was the other one specifically? What was the other thing he showed up in that I remember? Because I don't think it was Nadim. What the fuck? Anyway, I care too much about this topic. Did I mention I like VAs and their voices? Point is, that's who it is. Christopher Guerrero. That makes total fucking sense. Okay, broke. I do need to figure out though what the other thing he appeared in fairly recently. The other thing, the thing that I remembered otherwise was Shut Up Headphones. Was Paladins, because he's in that. But that's not what I'm thinking of. There's something important to me specifically as a person, but I don't know what it is. Point is, that motherfucker. But yeah, that's who that is. Anyway, I'm done talking. But yeah. I mean, Clifford is Himmel, right? But I don't remember a ton of stuff. I know that name because he's definitely been in a bunch of stuff, but I can't remember exactly if there's specific stuff I know of him from, or more just kind of general all over and shit I've seen. Anyway, point is, I like the cast so far. I like the show so far. I hope you guys are enjoying it so far. Thankfully, that did not destroy me as much as I kind of expected it to. Y'all were making it way scarier than I thought it was. There's still episode 2 though. Oh no. Yeah, no, I really liked that a lot. I really like that a lot. So if we can keep up those kind of vibes as we go, I think we're gonna have a really good time of it. Also, probably a sad one because if it is shit like that, but progressively throughout the show, it's gonna get so much worse. Then I will start bawling my eyes out. Again, I hate ugly crying, and I do it too much. Anyway, ladies, gents, those two beautiful. I'm gonna go ahead and end it there. That was episode 1 of Frieren. Whatever the fucking rest of the name of the show is. What the fuck? Beyond Journey's End. Beyond Journey's End. Beyond Journey's End. There is no the in that name. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, go ahead and give us some love. Also for new people, I didn't mention this. I probably should have earlier because I'm a fucking idiot. We have a Patreon. You're always welcome to check that out. You absolutely do not, under any circumstances, have to. Do not give me your fucking money if you do not feel comfortable. I don't care if it's only $1 to get early access to shit. Don't do it if you don't feel comfortable with it. Because I don't feel comfortable with it. Because I know who I am. Yeah, we tend to have schedule issues. Again, if you pay attention to the video release schedule and shit with things on the channel over the past about 6 months, you'll notice I disappeared for about 6 months due to mental illness. And I'm still having a difficult time of it, trying to get things sorted out and get times to record things and so on and so forth. And just generally having a bad brain and being a weird autistic moron. Yes. So yeah, that is a thing that you do want to keep in mind is while you will get early access stuff, they're going to kind of go up whenever I can get them up, and when they happen to go, there's no set time for an amount of early access. It's not like, well, it's 3 days. No, fuck that shit. I'm going to put them all up, and they'll be there as early access as they can be, which generally means shit that comes out earlier in a week is going to have less early access than something that comes out at the end of the week. Like Frieren. Anyway, so point is, that's there. We have a Discord. You're always welcome to check out and talk with me about things there. Obviously, don't spoil stuff, you silly goose. Thankfully, no one's done that in a hot minute. Because we got rid of him. He left. He said I bullied him too much. Anyway, you spoiled too much of my shit. Anyway, point is, I'm gonna go ahead and go. I love you all dearly. I hope you guys enjoyed. I did a lot, actually. I don't know if you could tell. And I will see you all in episode 2. It didn't have to be magic. ... Ellipses. I use those too much. You'll notice that in the Discord. There's that. Also, I have an annual list if you ever want to check out the shit that I've seen or not. Links in the description, all that sort of thing. Anyway, I'm going to go ahead and go. I love you all dearly. Take care. Be well. Be safe. And I will see you then. Until then, though, toodles, toodles, lemons, everybody. Bye-bye. Is that the first time I've hit anyone with a fucking toodles, doodles, and lemons in like a year? What the fuck happened to me? Oh, I fucking fell off.